on this computer. Hello, everyone. It's Janet and Jason again. Only now we're here to share the human design energy report that we missed doing for several weeks. Maybe a couple months, Jason. I don't know. It's been a while.
I can only tell you that it ebbs and flows.
The ebb and the flow, but we're back to the flow. And of course, that's because partly we have some, important things we want to share with you about the energy of this week, especially because, as we shared in the radio show yesterday, we have a lot of intense sort of energy, lining up with the full moon and with Mercury getting ready to do its backward dance. And so it bears looking at the Human Design Week. We talked a little bit about this week, human design-wise, on the radio show about the gate of shock and what that was all about. This recording, we're going to talk about what's going on next week as we really have the full moon and Mercury in retrograde and see what we can sort of bank on happening. Now, what I find really interesting, Jason, is that last night, what was it, about 8 o'clock my time, I think, when I realized that we had actually done some kind of, the United States had bombed or done something, some military action in Syria. And what I had said on the radio show was to, watch out for things that would be shocking. And certainly that counted as a shock for me because even though, we'd heard all week about, what had been going on in Syria, I did not expect the U.S. to answer in that way. So it's that type of thing that comes out of the blue that we can expect as we end this week. And then we go into next week. And as we start the week, the sun moves into the gate 42. Now, you may remember back a couple of months ago when we were talking about gate 42 and Uranus. And this is the gate of finishing things, right? So we're coming to an end of a cycle, or we're coming into the possibility of endings. And of course, that's kind of backing up what's going on with the full moon, which is a time of completions and revelations, et cetera, et cetera. So we have until the 15th of April to finish things. And that might mean that we are finally able to get clear of some of the things we've been working on so that we can be prepared to start something new as we move maybe into the new moon cycle in 2 or 3 weeks. So that's where we are with the sun. You want to pull a card and see what you come up with?
Yeah, I pulled a card before you started going on, and I'm stumped.
¿Por qué?
For the first time in us doing things. And when I pull this card, and I will start talking so that you can get the right view, and I'm talking still for you.
Ooh, cups.
I mean, it's an incredibly benevolent card. I mean, look at these cups. They're just running over with the light of God and with prosperity and money and happiness and joy. Doesn't make any fucking sense.
Yes, it does.
You know what I mean?
Because maybe we're completing the cycle of this craziness that we've been in. We didn't talk about the earth yet. Maybe the earth energy would help us because the earth energy this week is about nurturing, which is educating, taking care of one another, feeding one another, right? The whole idea of mothering energy comes into play at gate 27. So the earth is in her mothering self, and the sun is in his completion self. And so maybe we can see a turn of events that place us more in alignment with what you're seeing in that card.
Well, I'm hoping, for whatever reasons, the card is talking about prosperity. It is talking about, this doesn't necessarily tell me when I see the card about completion, but in fact, if something is coming to completion and it is a plan or it is a project of some sort, looks like we're going to have more success than usual with and reaping the benefits of those plans. What did you say is happening with the earth? Where is it at, you said?
She's at gate 27, which comes off of the sacral, comes off the sacral heading towards the spleen. Hold on. Why do I feel like that's not right? No, I am right. Gate
Okay.
27 is on the sacral, heading toward the spleen, and it's the gate of nourishment, right? Taking care of that whole nurturing concept, that mothering energy. That's what gate 27 has. And that's where the earth is sitting. And I find, that feels like a good foil to us completing some kind of major cycle.
Okay. And let me give you a little bit of a flip side on that. The card that I pulled for the earth just now while you were talking is
Keep talking.
the Ten of Wands, and you can see it's half man, half burro. He's got all these sticks in his bundle, in his pack, and there's fire coming up from his back. On the very top of it, you see there's an owl on the head of the donkey. This is the card of being put upon, of pressures. So while there is a nurturing aspect happening, what I would caution a lot of you overdoers out there is to make sure you don't take on too much. Take on about as much as you can comfortably, but don't try and heal the world and feed the world and do all that, because it's going to mess with resources. It's going to mess with what you have emotionally, mentally, physically, economically to take care of business.
It almost looks like a card of
the
burden.
moderation.
Do you see burden
It is the
in
beast
that
of burden.
card? Yeah.
It is the beast of burden. Is exactly what I was talking about. So you have to be careful not to get burdened by this nurturing, which, as we know, very often can happen if we are not taking care of ourselves first. So to listen to your inner wisdom with respects to the earth for this coming week. Why are you laughing?
I'm laughing because I totally blew it. It's Mercury that's sitting at the gate 27. The Earth is at gate 32. We have been out of practice in this way. So,
you're telling me that Mercury is at the gate of nurturing?
Yes, Mercury in retrograde as of next week is at the gate of nurturing. Now this makes total sense to me, because Mercury in retrograde, Mercury is the planet of communication and transportation, and in a way, Mercury also rules education. And this is a gate that also sees the need for education. If you're going to have a healthy, happy tribe, you have to feed, clothe, and educate them and transmit the values of the tribe. And that all comes through that gate 27. So maybe what Mercury in retrograde is reminding us is of the nurturing sides of ourselves, right? The parts of us that are really ingrained in taking care of one another, of the raising up of a community and not the tearing apart of a community or a planet for that matter. The Earth actually sits at gate 32. And since I did this out of order, does that mean your cards are out of order now?
No, because when you look at that a card of warning, it's, we know damn well that Mercury has a very fast way of changing things. And the fact of the matter is if the card talks about educating the tribe, or in fact about taking care of people in your family, taking care of friends, it's kind of the same message, because the Earth and Mercury are, heavy hitters in our dynamics. So to be honest with you, it makes more sense to me having Mercury at this gate 26 warning us against burden than the Earth, which is a little more, how should I say, not as much of a trickster. The Earth I look at as a solid sort of
the ground beneath our feet, right?
Yeah, tried and true thing. So where is the Earth now, crazy lady?
Crazy lady, I'm so sorry.
Right.
The Earth is sitting at gate 32.
Which is?
The 32 is called the gate of continuity. And it's the opposite end.
Stop. You're going to love this, folks. You could probably watch while she was talking. You saw my head go down here. I mixed the cards up, and I shuffled the cards up. And I said, all right, God, give me one. Give me one for the Earth. Give me one of the Earth now.
No way. Same card.
I mixed them. 70-something cards here, lady. So, interestingly enough, it looks like when you say gate 32, That's the gate of what again?
Continuity. Here's the interesting thing about gate 32. It sits at the spleen.
Right.
And the spleen is often a fear gate, or
Right.
the gates of the spleen can also be fears. The fear in gate 32 is that that life is meaningless, right? That the opposite gate, gate 54, has a big dream, has a goal, an ambition. Gate 32, in a little bit, feels a little bit like a fear of failing in that dream, or failing to be able to thrive, perhaps, instead of having to scrape and scrimp and all of that and save, and still not thrive. In other words, it's kind of maybe survival versus thriving. So that's where the earth is. So yeah, maybe it's time to cast off the burdens of that we have, as far as the fear that we have that we are going to fail at something.
Absolutely. And it can be a huge burden. I don't know, how many people are out there who dealing with insecurities, of course, like a lot of us, dealing with ghosts from the past that come in and wreak havoc, allowing that to make decisions for you in the future. But it's pretty interesting stuff that, you're like, oh, is it going to make a difference? Out of order? And we pull the same damn card. So very interesting that the Earth and Mercury are working sort of in tandem to give us kind of the same message in a
different context, maybe.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So the week should be a really interesting week, especially because of the full moon energy and Mercury retrograde in the same week. It's worth noting that the planet Uranus is still at gate 42 himself. So that means that the Sun and Uranus will be in a conjunction. So if we're looking at the astrological chart, those two are occupying the same degree of the sky. Uranus is a planet of awakening and surprises. So the Sun conjuncting Uranus could very well bring us things that we didn't expect. It might bring us closure to things that we've been hanging on to that we haven't been able to clean up and finish up. Or it may bring a surprising end to things, particularly because of the nature of shock that preceded the energies that we're going into in this week. So
Absolutely.
I think it just bears saying, be calm, be cool, be in your body, maybe. Let's stay grounded, and let's not get caught up in the rhetoric and all of the news. God, if you watch the news, it's horrible.
I just pulled another card to give me an overall temperature on if I was to give advice for this coming week. It's very simple. I just finished doing this card a couple of weeks ago on my show. Here it is.
Strength, yes.
Which is really the love card. And it's, when I say love, I don't mean as in the lovers, which is different, but this is all about strength, which comes from a base in true universal love of oneself and those around you. So that is what will give you strength. So when you say patience, it's one of those, okay, remind myself what's important. I have a roof over my head, clothing on my back, and I have food on my table and some love in my life. Let's remember that we're doing better than most people in the world.
Yeah, absolutely. And, one last little cautionary tale here is that there's pressure on us to complete things this week. There's pressure on us to bring something to an end. And if that's a relationship, I want you to be extra cautious, because Venus, the planet that rules the relationships that we have in our life, is at the gate of crisis. I know, I want to breathe. I want to breathe because I want people to understand not to act from that knee-jerk reaction or that knee-jerk thing that happens to us when someone pisses us off and we want to, road rage, or we want to scream and
throttle them. Yeah.
Resolve to stay in peace and to stay centered.
You said it the first time. It's all about being patient and we can soft coat this any way you want, but even from last night's show, people, hold on, get through this next week or so. It's not going to be pleasant. Oh, fucking well. we have those time periods. It's just the way it goes. And obviously, growth and movement need to be occurring, so that's what's going to happen.
Right. And it's not going to be altogether unpleasant. I mean, some people love change and they thrive in that kind of an atmosphere. I would welcome the ending of some things in my life to be able to make space for something new to be generated. And I think that's the high side, is that we're making space for something new, like what more can be, or what else is there. What's that saying?
Yes, folks, you just heard the good cop, bad cop rendition of that. It's going to be shit, hang on, and, oh, it's making new space for, right. The fact of the matter is there are some pretty hardcore energies at work. It is what it is.
And endings always make way for what?
Wonderful beginnings.
There we have it. It's all
right, lady.
It's really good because this week your whole card with the death card and the lady that's going to be visiting your show, I think it kind of substantiates that whole idea of rebirth, death and rebirth, transformation. So perfect. Thank you all for listening and tuning in. We're going to try to be more committed to getting these out weekly. Yes, you heard the Gemini.
You can blame me. I'm all right. You can blame me if you need. I'll be your scapegoat.
It's not Jason's fault. It's been me. Too many things going on in my life, not enough time.
It's good to see you again, Janet. Thank you for involving me. And I guess I will see you on our next broadcast, which is this coming Wednesday, where we're going to be beginning the death card, like you said. And then Thursday is your show. So
Aries and Pluto this week. So awesome. All right, everybody. Take care.
Bye, Janet.
Bye.